Can anybody hear us?
She's about to do. There we are. We are on the air.
On the air. All right, here we go.
I am here with the world famous Alejandro Escovedo.
That's stretching it, but that's all right. I'll take it.
I mean, you're the only guy I know that played with Bruce Springsteen.
I have been around the world, but yeah.
Yeah, you have been around the world.
Yeah.
And you played with Bruce, the boss.
Yes. Yeah,
The only person that matters in the music business now, except for
What's
you.
that?
The only person that matters in the music business, except for you.
Possibly.
So are you going to sell your catalog too?
What's that?
Are you going to sell your catalog also?
Am I going to sell my catalog?
Yeah.
If anyone would buy it, I would sell it. Believe me, in a second.
So I usually start these off by.
So is that an offer? Are you making an offer?
I don't have enough money for your catalog.
I'll bet you do.
Rusty and Teresa might, but
doesn't take much.
I don't have the money for Bruce's. That's for sure.
No, well, I wouldn't either.
Not many people do.
I can't even buy a ticket to a show.
Oh,
now.
God,
Aren't they
no.
like $5,000?
Something like that. I just got tickets to go see that Metallica thing.
Yeah,
It was expensive.
it's expensive. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't want to tell
Just
you.
go by yourself. You take a date.
Well, I got my buddy I'm going with. You can't really take
There you
girls
go.
to Metallica, even though they're kind of a pop
Was it
band
a cool
now.
show? Worth the money?
I haven't been yet.
Oh, it's gonna happen. I see.
Yeah, it's like a year away from now, and it's an investment, basically. Maybe I'll sell
like
the tickets. So I start these off by talking about the artist and the history of us with you.
Sure.
And you've been playing here for probably the inception of the Ducks, early 90s, correct?
Yeah, it's been a long time. It was the early '90s, so it's been like 30 years.
Yeah.
Teresa was saying 32 years or something. So yeah, it's been a while.
Now you come with cello players and full bands and by yourself, and it's always interesting. We never know. People ask, how's he come? We don't know. He'll be here.
I've had every configuration
Yeah.
possible on stage.
Well, we enjoy the one today. The show yesterday was fantastic.
Oh, the trio's amazing.
Yeah, I'm looking
great
forward to it
players. Scott Danbaum on keyboards and fiddle, violin, and then Mark Henney on vocals and sampler and drums.
Yeah.
Extraordinaire. Yeah, he's
It's the best. It's the best iteration. Is that how you say that? You've ever had here? I'm just saying that because
the
you're
trio.
dancing. Yeah.
It's new. Yeah,
It's good.
yeah.
Well, we enjoy it.
Thank you.
So I'm gonna get into these questions. You ready?
Yeah,
What is the first record you purchased with your hard-earned own money?
with my own money, it
Yeah.
was a Everly Brothers record.
Okay.
It was 45. It was in late 50s. I think I was like, with my own money. But my parents always bought me records.
Yeah.
You know, there was always records around the house. Like when I was a kid, you know, I was always babysat by one of my cousins. Her name was Gloria. This is San Antonio.
Okay.
And she was an Elvis freak, you know. So her room was adorned with Elvis posters and photos, and we'd listen to Elvis. And as a little kid, I entered a talent show with an Elvis gold lame suit on and stuff. You know?
Did you sing an Elvis
So it
song?
was all Elvis all the time.
Did you sing an Elvis song on the show?
Huh?
Did you sing an Elvis song?
Oh, yeah, you know, I had to do Hound Dog. And, it was funny. And then, you know, she turned me on, though. That's where I first heard, like, Fats Domino and the Big Bopper, Jerry Lee Lewis, Chuck Berry, all that early, really, Little Richard, too. She loved Little Richard. So, yeah, I heard all those. I owe her everything for the introduction to that music.
Okay.
Yeah.
So who was the first artist you put on a pedestal?
Well, because of my cousin, probably Elvis,
Okay.
you know, and but I loved Fats Domino. Like as a kid, I remember wishing that he was my father. You know, like I just loved him. And
Nice.
there's something about Fats, the way he played, his
Right.
presence. He was so calm. He was like a Buddha kind of quality, and I just kind of like fell in love with the guy for some reason. You know,
Okay.
he was very comforting. Something about him was really felt good. You know.
I think it'd be cool to have Fats Domino as your
Yeah,
father.
I think it would be too.
would be
I
pretty
went and
cool.
saw his house in New Orleans. A friend took me to go see his pad.
Nice.
We just stood on the, sidewalk and checked it out. But it was all gated and stuff.
Right,
But
of
it was
course.
Fats's place.
Nice.
Yeah, it's very cool.
It's kind of creepy, but okay. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, it is
So-
a little stalker-like, but we did the same thing in Graceland. You know, we'd always go check
Yeah.
out these places.
I've been to Graceland a couple times,
Yeah.
so that's pretty cool.
And we'd go. That was at a time when Vernon had a store across the street, Vernon Presley.
Mhm.
And so we'd go check him out, you know, talk to him.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's cool. So do you have a favorite guitar riff?
Favorite guitar?
Riff. Like a little...
Oh, Well, there's a lot of Stooges riffs that I love.
Okay.
The Down on the Streets,
Mm-hmm.
1969 riff, the Raw Power riff, the
it's a great record.
Search and Destroy riff, I Want to Be Your Dog. All those Stooges I love, just love.
So do you do I Want to Do Your Dog anymore? I'll
Haven't
Be Your
done
Dog?
it in a while. It's
Yeah.
on the set list.
Oh, nice.
So maybe we'll jump into it tonight.
Not that I want to
No,
tell
it's
you
all
what to
right.
do.
It's good. We did it so many different ways. I've done it every way, every tempo, strings. I loved it with the strings,
Right.
But tonight, the trio, I don't know that we've ever even really played it together, but we'll do it.
We could put them on the spot.
Yeah.
They look very capable over there.
Oh, I'm sure they can do anything.
So you're going to Desert Island. You got 3 records.
I'm sorry?
You're going to a desert island. You have
Yeah.
3 records. What 3 records are you taking?
What's Going On by Marvin Gaye,
Good one.
Exile on Main Street, and Funhouse by the Stooges.
Oh yeah, I could hang out on your island.
Yeah.
I could hang out on your island. So this is
So that'd be a rock and roll island.
That's a rock and roll island. Did you ever have a like eureka moment, like that you wanted to do this for a living? Was there ever a moment you saw something, heard a lyric, heard a riff, experienced something that made you want to do this, or was it just always kind of around?
It's interesting because I'm writing a memoir now, right? And so I thought about that. Like, I didn't have dreams like of being a guitar player, but I remember having these dreams, like daydreams and dreams of speaking to a lot of people. But I looked like a rock and roll star,
Okay.
But I'd just be talking. I wasn't singing. I wasn't playing guitar. I was kind of like a stand-up comedian of
Right.
sorts, in my dreams, but a rock and roll stand-up comedian. And then, grudgingly, I became a guitar player because we were making a movie. Me and my friend from New York were making a film about the worst band in the world. And since we couldn't play, we became that band.
Worst
That
band.
band became the Nuns.
Right.
And the Nuns went on to open for the last Sex Pistols show, and we kind of, were one of the bigger bands in San Francisco during the punk era. And yeah, so like that started me. And even then, we were just having fun.
Right.
It was all about having fun. The girls were beautiful. The drugs were plentiful. The vibe was great.
Right.
So, and it was really exciting because it was the beginning of something new, punk rock, right? So like there was a movement, that we were part of. So we were really, really enthusiastic about it, but only from, not like from a musical
Standpoint.
slant,
Yeah.
but more of like just a cultural kind of thing, and being part of something that was bigger than us,
Right.
And then I think that when, I played with Judy Nylon in New York. When we went to New York, we lived in the Chelsea Hotel, the Nuns.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I remember meeting Judy Nylon, who had sang with John Cale
Right.
and Brian Eno, and she just walked up to me and said, "You're going to be my guitar player." And I ended up staying in New York when the Nuns left for San Francisco
Okay.
to return back to San Francisco. So I just stayed in New York, and I became her guitar player. And she introduced me to a world of New York that was
Right.
super hip, man. It was so cool. First gig we played, I think we rehearsed 2 nights, and in her hotel room, we all lived in hotels, and at the front table was Brian Eno, Chris Spedding, and John Cale,
Right.
So it was really heady stuff, And at that point, I think, even then, it was when we moved to Austin, back to Texas,
Right.
And I lived in Austin, 1980, and I saw all these songwriters that were just amazing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Joe Ely and Jimmy Dale and Butch and, of course, Towns and, all these Guy Clark and all
Right.
these guys.
All
would
the guys
come
that play
in,
here.
Steve Earle would play.
Mhm.
Lucinda was busking on the drag, Pat Mears, all these wonderful artists. And I think it was then that I kind of, I was 30 years old when I wrote my first song.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
So once I wrote my first song, then I thought, well, maybe I could do this for
For a
a
living.
long time.
Okay.
And if I'm going to do it for a long time, I better write songs.
Right.
So
That's a cool story. So you are writing a book about all this?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah, the
nice.
book. The book's interesting because it's not just about being in bands. It's about, the cultural side of being who, growing up in San Antonio. My parents took us to California in 1957, 58, and they told us we were going on a vacation from San Antonio. And we had no idea that we would never return to Texas until
Right.
1980.
Yeah.
So it was kind of crazy. So it's really about that journey and growing up in California, where suddenly, San Antonio, it was like all Mexican. All my
Right.
family was there, my relatives. My uncle had a bakery down the street, and so it was like very comforting and
Right, of
familial,
course.
right? And just like everyone spoke Spanish and ate Mexican food every day, and it was just beautiful. And then we get introduced to this world, like Jetson world in
Right.
California, where everything's in Technicolor, and But the interesting thing is, I never faced racism until I moved to California, and it was there that became the most racist place of all. It seemed,
Right.
And so, it's about growing up in that environment.
Okay. Nice. So I'm going to wrap this up so you can get the sound check. We're going to do some either ors. I'm going to give you two bands. You tell me which one you prefer.
Which one?
Which one you prefer.
Of
I'm going to give you two bands.
Okay,
And
go
you tell
ahead.
me which one you prefer. Just because you say that you like one doesn't mean you hate the other. It's just a preference. First one's,
It probably means I hate the other.
well, probably not this one. Beatles or Stones?
Oh, Stones.
Stones. Dolly or Aretha?
Which one?
Dolly or Aretha?
Dolly Parton or Aretha? I gotta go Aretha. She's my
Okay.
girl.
Elvis or Sinatra?
I gotta go Sinatra.
You just talked about Elvis
I know,
for
I did.
30 minutes.
But Sinatra's special.
I asked that question. I've asked it 70 times, and there's been 65 Sinatras, which just shocked me.
Yeah,
There's
Sinatra.
so
totally.
few Elvis.
Yeah.
Willie or Johnny?
Willie Nelson or
Johnny Cash.
Johnny Cash.
Michael Jackson or Prince?
Oh, wait a minute. I didn't answer the Willie one.
Oh, you want to expound on this? You are in Texas. I was just trying to be a favor.
Willie or Johnny? Johnny was so cool.
Yeah.
Just cool as fuck, I loved him. So, and Willie's, like, what can you say about Willie?
I think he's
phenomenal.
him and Dolly are the last two living icons, if you ask me.
Yeah. I'm going to go Willie. I'm going to go Willie.
You flip-flopped in the middle of it.
I did. I'm going to go Willie.
Lady Gaga or Madonna?
Oh, I don't like either one,
No?
personally.
All right.
But they're both a little. Madonna, I think, is beautiful as a woman,
Right.
and as an artist, I don't value her art all
Okay.
that much. Lady Gaga's super talented, but the making of what's that movie she made with
House of Gucci? Or no, Star is Born.
Well, that was a horrible one too. But no, the songwriter one,
Star is Born.
Stars Born.
Yeah. I never saw any of those.
Oh, I love the original.
Yeah.
So, neither.
Neither. John Prine or Bob Dylan?
Oh fuck, John Prine.
That one gets me in trouble. I got two more for you. The Sex Pistols or the Ramones?
Fuck.
I know that one's kind of tough.
That's a tough one.
I was like,
that's a good question.
I made that one up today.
Did you
just for
come
you.
up with that question?
I did.
That's a good one.
You don't keep me around here for my looks.
Sex Pistols record was one of the most, for me, I love that
Right.
record. I love the singles. The Ramones, same thing. I mean, it came before the Sex Pistols record. So, and we hung out with the Ramones a lot. Got kicked off their tour once, the Nuns. So I got to go Ramones. Yeah,
All right, I got one last question for you. Rank and file with the Nuns.
the Nuns all the way.
All the way.
All the way.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, you heard it from.
Well, thanks. You did.
Mr.
You,
Alejandro
you,
Escovedo.
were great.
Well, thank you for sitting
Yeah.
down with me. You were great.
No, you were great. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
Thank
Bye.
you. Ciao.
Thanks, sir.
Yeah, man.